How's it going? All right.
Good morning.
Juliet, how are you?
Actually, it feels like such an opportunity now to get some of these stories told. Richard, hi.
Hello, Juliet, how are you?
Very well, thank you. So Richard from Wyke Farms, we've met on several occasions. In fact, I've been down to your lovely site a couple of times. Great. Thank you for coming on and talking to us about the business and the background and the purpose. It'd be just great to hear a bit more about your story, really. I think you mentioned somewhere that I think it was your grandparents kind of instilled into you, if you can grow your own food and generate your own energy, then you're set for life. Did that really inspire you to start looking at the energy side of your business as well as the food side?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, they never talked about energy independence, but they talked about growing their own energy in terms of the fact that most of what they at the time they used to feed horses, which was the fuel for the horses, the
Yeah.
feed that they grew. So it was very much a similar sort of thing, and they grew their own food, and I think for us it was that thing about, if you look after nature, it looks after you, and we wanted to be energy independent, and I think that as our business grew and we were buying in more energy from outside, we became more and more vulnerable to the things that were happening in other parts of the world, and then also more conscious about the impact on the planet and our local climate from the energy, the global energy market, and what was happening in some of those areas where oil in particular was coming from. I want everyone to eat more cheese. That's my, I love making cheese. I want to sell my cheese all around the world, and I want everyone to really enjoy it. But at the same time, I want to make sure my objective is to provide a cheese that has a net carbon impact, zero carbon impact to the shopper, including allowing for other greenhouse gases, such as methane, etc. So there's work to do, but at the same time, a practical environmentalist doesn't say to a shopper, stop eating cheese or stop doing this. A practical environmentalist provides a solution and embraces the technology available so that people can carry on driving to wherever if they want to, but we have to give them a car that runs in a clean and efficient way so that they can still go there and do that in a way that has no negative impact on the environment around them. And I think that electric cars are potentially the silver bullet for the motor industry. I think anaerobic digestion and gas upgrading could be the silver bullet for agriculture, and also upgrading gas into the grid that's green gas is a really good way to decarbonize cities without people having to change their lifestyle at all. So we put somewhere in the region of about 2,000 cubic meters an hour of green gas into the Bruton grid network. Bruton must be the greenest town in the country without even realizing it. And that, for me, that's practical environmentalism. They can turn their ovens on, put the heating on in exactly the same way as always have, but we've found a way of making the environmental impact as least as possible. And where do you think the technology's going?
So the different technologies are going in different places, but I mean, I got a quote on solar recently, which was, I never believed solar would go that cheap. So when we were developing solar parks, I think the cost per megawatt hour is in the order of £750,000. I heard a quote recently where it is down close to $170,000 per megawatt.
Goodness me.
Now, that was obviously on a very large order, and it wasn't necessarily delivered in the UK, but still, I mean, that's a massive shift. And so solar, I think, particularly is just very, very effective as a decentralized
Yes.
technology and very effective on price. I think the next exciting piece is going to be those enabling technologies like storage. Obviously, what's interesting for you guys is you have a certain amount of storage on site, don't you? So you have some controllability, but with the gas, storage in the electricity sector is going to become really important. And obviously, the recent news about Elon Musk, I think in Somerset, he came down to visit.
Yes,
Is
I
that
saw.
right?
Yeah, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, he looked. I think did he look at the site just north of Bridgewater?
That's what I heard, yes. So I
Yeah.
mean, I think that kind of investment into the UK would obviously transform the storage business in the UK, but also I think would mean that government would really consider it very hard in terms of what regulations are getting in the way of investment in storage.
Are you concerned going forward about the demand for electricity with the amount of electric vehicles coming into manufacture? Are you
Uh,
concerned that we can meet the demand and that the government has a good enough policy to do that?
so I would be concerned that government hasn't really thought about this well enough. Yes, but would I be concerned that we can produce enough? No. I mean, I think 2 weekends ago the UK was producing 69% of its electricity from renewable energy, and we had constrained 1 gigawatt of energy off the system. Now that is a mixture of the fact that some of that was in Scotland and we haven't got the transmission capability from Scotland to the rest of the UK. So that feels like a problem that needs solving. Um, but the other part is, well, what are we doing with that gigawatt when it's being constrained? Could you be using it into something else? So I think that is the holistic approach we need to take a look at in the energy system and really start to think imaginatively about how we could use that more power. And if for example, I think the particularly long period when we were long was overnight, if you could basically say we're going to switch on every single electric vehicle to be charging at that point, you can take that excess power and provide a support to the grid. Thank you very much, Richard, for talking to me today.
Yeah,
Really inspirational. And yeah, well, I hope I get a chance to come and see you soon. Despite the fact we don't be traveling everywhere, I did love my visit last time I came down.
brilliant. Well, lovely to speak to you as well, Juliet.